There's a revolution going on in Virginia as the new administration of Governor Glenn Youngkin is following through on his campaign promise to return the schools to parents and taxpayers. Joining me now are two women who are playing a part in this revolution. President of Free to Learn Coalition, Alleigh Marré, and founder of Parents Defending Education, Nicole Neily. Great to see you both. Thank you very much for being here. Alleigh, let me go to you first. On his very first day as governor, Governor Youngkin issued 11 executive orders. The first two dealt with education, not surprisingly, because that's essentially why he became governor. But executive order number 1, banning the use of CRT, critical race theory, and other inherently divisive concepts in school. Executive order number 2, ending school mask mandates. He's following through on that. He's catching hell for it. Which one of these is more important to you?
Well, they're both extremely important because they show that Virginia parents' voices are being heard. Parents came together and they said that they value their parental rights, they value having a say in their children's education, and they value being able to make safety decisions for their kids. And on day one, the actions were being taken to promote those values. So they are both extremely important and should make parents across the Commonwealth feel like they have someone in their corner as they start to advocate and make these decisions for their children in the coming weeks.
Well, Nicole, I know you've been through this before, but you know the whole media, maybe with a couple of exceptions like us, is against you, and they're going to try everything they can to disrupt what you are trying to do and what the governor and his administration are trying to do. Already it started. You have a Slate, very liberal news site, saying Virginia schools are melting down, literally melting down. Are they melting down now?
They are not melting down, but yeah, you're right. It's really sad to see the pile-on. I mean, we just saw John Legend tweet encouraging people to submit hoax tips to the tip line that the state has opened. This is a tip line where families are encouraged to report racial discrimination, instances of their children being treated differently on the basis of their skin color. And so every hoax tip that comes in distracts from our state spending taxpayer resources to fight civil rights violations. It's appalling that celebrities and news outlets are piling on and encouraging that kind of bad behavior.
Well, Nicole, let me just stick with you for a second. What about that tip line? Is the governor's office prepared to deal with that, to these phony reports?
Yes, absolutely. I think they have a terrific team in office. Their new superintendent, their assistant superintendent are well versed in these issues. And we know through our own tip line at Parents Defending Education, we have received hundreds of tips from across the Commonwealth. We put them up on our website. We vet them. And so when people say this is not being taught in schools, that's a falsehood. And so I'm so thrilled that we have people like Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears who are calling out that falsehood because it's inappropriate.
Yeah, no, the whole team, you really, that's, Alleigh, that's the difference, I think, between what's happening here in, for example, a city like New York, where we have a change in the mayor for the good, I think, but you still have a bad city council, you have a terrible DA and so forth. This is the whole shebang. I mean, you really, you have a new administration, Alleigh, that is determined to go through. Do you think they have the backbone? I mean, I know your lieutenant governor is a former Marine, so I know she does, but do they have the backbone to deal with all the counter charges and counter forces?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, as we've been discussing, the message that was sent on day one really helps to solidify just that we mean business. We're here to keep an eye on this. And look, no one's disagreeing with the fact that perhaps masking and things like that may have been reasonable on day one back in March of 2020, but that ship has sailed. There's a lot more data now. We have vaccines that are widely and freely available to the student population and to any parents or teachers who feel that they may be at risk and want to take advantage of that. We've moved on. It's time for the mandates to be removed so that parents can make those decisions for their children. No one has their kids' best interests in heart more than parents. And unfortunately, over the course of the last 2 years, we've seen America continue to fall behind our peers and suffer from learning loss that I don't know that we'll ever make up. Not to mention the fact that there is now a mental health the state of emergency as declared by the American Academy of Pediatrics. And we've seen teen suicide rate attempts, especially among teen girls, skyrocketing. I mean, these are all of the real world effects from these mandates, this overreaching government, meddling in parental rights. And it's time to give that authority back to the parents. And I think we're on the right track to see that.
Nicole, there's one way, the big shebang that you could install? Maybe you're holding off for it, or maybe the governor's holding off until the whole school system is ready. But that is school choice, allowing individual parents to take their money, the money that they spend as a part of their taxation, and take it to the school of their choice. How soon before the governor's ready to go ahead with school choice?
You know, I have not had discussions with them about that, but I think you're absolutely right. And it's National School Choice Week, so I'm glad you bring it up. I think a combination of allowing parents first to know what their children are learning through transparency, and then allowing people, if they're unhappy with what their children will learn, to take their dollars elsewhere, have the dollars follow the student and not fund the system, is really going to bring a lot of these problems to heel. So I think there's a terrific arms race going on right now between Governor Ducey, who is allowing parents to, take their dollars and walk if schools aren't opening, got people like Governor DeSantis and now Governor Youngkin. And so I'm excited to see what they have in store. I know one thing that they're planning on is trying to make it easier for districts to open charter schools, which have historically, strangely enough, been blocked by local school boards who don't seem to like the competition. And so I think we have a lot of good things in store for Virginia in the years to come.
Ladies, we only have about 20 seconds, but very quickly from both of you, we talked about the backbone of the administration. How about the backbone of the parents? Are they prepared for what's to come, and are they willing to go the distance and really revolutionize the way in which education is used in the state of Virginia? First to you, Nicole.
Absolutely. My former coworker, Carrie Lucas from the Independent Women's Forum, showed up at Fairfax County Public Schools yesterday with her children unmasked. They weren't allowed in. It was a first grader and a fourth grader. So people are prepared to fight. And I know the Attorney General's office is preparing to file an injunction on behalf of those families.
And Alleigh, I'll ask you the same question, but in this context, are there parents that are coming to you that maybe stayed in the shadows leading up to now, but are coming out and supporting you more openly?
I think that's sort of the case, but we really started to see an influx of support and outreach and increased vocalization leading up to, these last few months in Virginia when it really took the national stage because of the election. Parents are fired up and they really became activated leading up to November. And I don't think that's calmed down at all. And now that they feel they have someone in their corner repealing some of these mandates and the government overreach, I think they're more excited and empowered than ever.
Well, you're becoming a model for the rest of the country. And so the country is watching what you're doing. Best luck to both of you. Thanks for being here tonight.